So the important part of this whole thing. So Alucard is Dracula's son. Alucard is just Dracula spelled backwards, right? If you remember, there was a part where we went into this kind of time warp and we fought a succubus, and the succubus took the form of his mom, and the mom got the whole scene wrong because she was like, "I want you to kill him," when really she said, "I want you to forgive him." And this is the conversation now: is that do not hate humans. If you cannot live with them, then at least do them no harm, for theirs is already a hard lot. And she said that she would love Dracula for eternity. And so that's why Alucard's so torn, because it's like he's having to fight his father. And when Alucard was born, he knew Dracula as a like loving father. Like, cuz Dracula had given up the whole evil drink blood. Like, he'd given that up. Like, he was with Lisa. He wanted to be with Lisa. That was it. But then they killed her because she was with him. So they took her as a heretic. And so then he lost his mind again and decided to start killing everyone again. So then Alucard, it really is a sad, like, story. Because Alucard didn't want to have to do this, but he does have to do it.
Their outfits just seem so out of place.
I know, they're so like... But here, so this is something I didn't know. Rondo of Blood is actually the prequel to this. This is the sequel to... So Rondo of Blood came out first. This is a direct sequel to that game. And I mean direct. As in, the very first scene that we see is where we're Richter. We kill Dracula. That is actually the overlapping of the ending of Rondo of Blood and beginning of Symphony of the Night. So this is direct sequel. And so Maria is a grown-up now, but we're actually going to see her as not a grown-up in Rondo of Blood that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show... And you'll be able to tell the differences of how this game... So Rondo of Blood was made in 1993. This was made in 97. You're going to see a huge change, and you're going to be able to tell a huge change from Rondo of Blood to this in gameplay, in idea, in scope, all of it. But Rondo of Blood is still really good. It's I've played a lot of Castlevanias. I find Rondo of Blood to be probably top 3 of that style, that old style of Castlevania. It's good. And then one reason it's good is because you actually get to play as 2 different characters. You get to play as Richter and Maria. And because you save Maria, and like you actually have to physically save her. Like if you skip it, you don't save her. So you can just play the game as Richter. You actually have to physically seek her out and get a key and save her, and then you get to play as her, which is a cool idea too. Like you actually have to go and get her to have her unlock for... That's a very different idea. Usually you don't unlock characters, they just show up through story or blah blah blah, right? So that's a really cool concept, I think. And then obviously people have used that since. Like that's not a new concept now, but it was back then. But yeah, so that's the story. I'm going to show you some things in the other save file that are just going to kind of let you see how OP Alucard is, and then we're going to finish the stream playing Rondo of Blood so that we can kind of get an idea of how the old Castlevania games felt compared to this one.
Excellent.
But yeah, so the more I keep thinking about like all these ideas between the Christian faiths, I've come upon a couple different things. One that we've talked about is that it makes sense that a faith that is saying that it is the restored gospel of Jesus Christ would be rejected by people, like just like Christ was. It's just a similitude. The other thing that I got is because I really don't care about the religion that I pertain to. I only care about following Christ. So when I pray, all I ask him is just show me where I should go. I don't care what it is. I could not care less. Like, I believe Christ is the Savior of the world, and I want to follow him, and I will follow him. So, like, if it's Catholicism, blah. But that's kind of where I've actually come, where I feel like my prayer's been answered. And the reason why I say that is I was watching a guy who went to General Conference. He's a pastor. And he's a really nice guy. He talks about how a lot of the same words like he would use, so it felt very familiar. And then he talked about like some different things that he talked about some different things that like are the reasons why he like disagrees, and that's fine. So the one thing is that, and you brought this up, I can't believe, like, the more research that I've done into it, is one of the reasons that we're believed not to be Christians is because we don't follow the Nicene, is it Nicene?
The Nicene.
The Nicene Creed.
Yeah.
And it's like, what a silly, like, so they made this creed, or they came together, made it.
And it wasn't even unanimous.
And it was like, yeah, well, so it wasn't unanimous. So it caused strife. Like, so you had the break off between Roman and Greeks, and you had all these things happening. One reason
Coptic
they were also
Christians.
doing it was because they were trying to. Wasn't it because they were trying to unite pagans and Christians? So like, there was a lot of reasons.
Well, there's a lot of different Christian sects, like the Coptic Christians, because they don't believe in the divinity of Christ, but they believe he's a good person, and they still follow him. You know,
Right.
and so there was a lot of different things about, you know, who's God. And if you read the Old Testament and the Torah, right, it's really hard to distinguish between Jehovah and God and what it all means.
Right.
And that's where modern revelation has been.
And
very
so
helpful.
they do the Nicene Creed, and they're like, okay, so, and that's why they don't believe we're Christian, because we don't follow the Trinity. So it's like, okay, that's a really dumb reason. Like, especially because all these faiths actually fight amongst themselves. So it's like, okay, that's why you don't think we're Christian. That's dumb. But then I started thinking more upon it, and I came to two things. Evangelists believe that, like, the Bible is it. Like, the Word of God, that's it. But that doesn't make sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because the Bible had to be written, like, the books in the Bible that were written, there was a day where the words were first written in the book. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so we have the book, the Bible, and it's a collection of books that we know as the Bible. Well, there was a day where Matthew was literally the first time he put the ink to the page. So like, and Christ, like, there were days that happened before Christ had taught the teaching that he taught. So it's like, if a book were just the definitive thing,
with places he didn't experience. You
right?
have to give him from word of mouth, and they got him decades later.
Well, and the thing is how could you add? Because as they're happening in real time. Oh crap! This is the one I want. As they're happening in real time, multiple people didn't have those teachings yet. So like, the book is created just like anything else, as in, like, we have the story Noah, like, but there was a day when Noah was actually in the ark and building the ark. And so then we have the benefit of having all these old writings, but when they were being written, people didn't know the doctrine yet. So it doesn't make sense that the Bible would just be closed and that's it. Because more revelation will come for everyone, because there are more things to be written. There's more. We don't know all the mysteries of God, and the Bible does not tell us all the mysteries of God yet. Like, no one can dispute that. We don't know all the mysteries. How was the earth created? Like, how? Like, literally how? Like, how did you do it? How did you walk on water? Like, there's so many things we don't know. And so it's like, that doesn't make any sense. The second thing is, because of the Nicene Creed and the Bible and the way they look at it, that also means that they're acting just like the Pharisees acted when Christ came. If you tell a group of people who follow Christ that they are not Christians because they don't follow a creed, you are literally doing the same thing that was done to Christ when he came and said, no, the Torah is not complete. It's the same thing. You are literally saying to people that there's more, that there can't be more, and that it is already perfect. That's literally what the Pharisees said to Christ. And so it's just like, there's so many, as I've prayed and looked and sought these answers, I feel like that's the answer I keep getting is it's like it makes complete sense to me, or it makes sense to me that it would be true what we're teaching, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the restored Church of Christ, because the same thing is happening to us that happened to him. Like, we are experiencing the same level of vitriol. We are experiencing the same level of hate. We're experiencing the same level of, okay, like, the Bible is perfect and therefore cannot be built upon. Christ literally went through that same thing. We are suffering the way he suffered. And that makes sense to me.
Not only that, I mean, the Nicene Creed was also one of the things where Christians were trying to unite, regardless of, creed or belief, because they were being persecuted, right?
Right.
And so that's the same thing that's going to be happening increasingly now, as we've seen as well. So wouldn't you want allies? Why would you not want more allies?
Especially people who are proclaiming that they believe in the same being as the Savior of the world. Right. The whole idea of like, well, you're not the same. It's a different Christ. No, it's not. No, it's not. Are you telling me that I believe that all the things in the Bible happened at a different point with a different man named Christ? And it's like, well, no. Well, okay, then it's the same dude.
It's Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Right.
That's all but I mean, again, it's just like if there was a Muslim that was in the fight for the kind of right and choices, not that they aren't, right, but that, I'd want them as an ally.
Well, absolutely.
I'd want all people of faith that are helping each other build that faith in themselves and to
Jews, Muslims, especially, and I've made this point before, especially because the Abrahamic religions are all, in my opinion, and I will never change my mind on this, they're all praying to the same God. We're all praying to the same God.
And I mean, the Old Testament is all of the base, right? It's all our
base. Right. I mean,
regardless if we have the Book of Mormon or not, we all use the Torah and the Old Testament as a base of goodness to build upon.
Right.
And and none of us are going to do it perfectly, just because we have this truth and this gospel for us does not necessarily mean that all the people are perfect. Just like all Christians aren't perfect, and that's how people that aren't in secularism will try to put it over our heads, because they don't have that compunction.
Because you're really not following him. It's like, well, no, we're trying
and they don't have to, because they don't have to follow anything.
Right.
So I mean,
they can just follow the whims of their own things, and honestly, and then they create all the problems. Well, not all the problems, but a lot of the problems that we see. And Christians acting in the name of Christ who weren't actually acting in the name of Christ, like they weren't doing good things, also hurt us.
Well, I mean, and
that sucks.
It's going to continue, and it's so on Angel Studios. If you download their app,
we have it on the Roku.
Yeah, I hope they continue to give more content and stuff. So we're watching the movie The Testament. I think that's what it is, or just Testament.
I think I've seen the
preview.
Yeah,
and it's really interesting because it puts basically the New Testament after Christ has died into a modern context. And that story's a bit more confusing, because I think you'd have to know more scholarly aspects about what was going on with them and the saints and being persecuted, and Peter and stuff like that. But they the characters are telling this character Luke different parables that Jesus taught them. And it's cool because they kind of do it in the modern context. And one of the parables that we've also studied, not in the too distant past on Come Follow Up and in Sunday school, is the parable of the seeds, that the sower was flowing in. Some go by the wayside, right? And some get blown by chaff, some don't get deep-rooted. And that's what, Christians fell at that sometimes. And people in general fell at that sometimes. And we just don't root ourselves. That it should not be cause for other people to condemn or judge ourselves or others. We do. I mean, it's perfectly understandable. But people outside of faith at all easily use that.
Right.
to move us around, and it kind of proves the point. So it is hard to keep that faith and be rooted in Christ. So make allies, make friends. You know, we're all going to be building the kingdom of God at some point, or right now. No
Yes.
better time to start. Pack up. Let's move to Jackson County. I am waiting for Vincini.
But yeah, so I didn't want to interrupt that because that was really good. So this sword is called the Blade of Wind. Okay, you farm it by farming the. You remember those little head things where like the scarecrow and lion enemies were?
Yeah.
So they drop it. It is a 1 in 566 chance of getting it. It's also a trophy, so it takes a while. Okay, so but it is now a walking simulator. Like, so these guys used to give me a bunch of trouble, but all I do is just pound square, and they're dead. Right? So it's just like they have no shot. One time I was playing this with one of Brittany's cousins, who was a really good friend of mine back in the day. And he got it. So we get to the inverted castle. He's the one that actually showed me this game. So a lot of good memories with him as he showed me this. But he got it. He killed one in his game, and it dropped. Me and him had never seen the sword. So he equips it, and it's this sword right here. And it was like, what the crap? So from then on, he was on easy mode. So, like, I didn't get the sword until I tried to get the sword, and I had already gone through everything. Okay, so let me show you this now. So I have a duplicator on, so anything that I use, any item I use, it just reduplicates so it never runs out, okay? The duplicator, the drawback is that it gives you low defense, but that don't matter. So this is the duplicator. So I just hit square, and this is what happens. And so I can just do this for all of time. And so normal enemies like this, it just, like, there's nothing anyone can do now. And so when I go around and, like, destroy stuff, it's just, this is how easy it is. So, kind of fun. I just wanted,
which one's
I wanted
the better,
to...
the Alucard shield, that, or the sword?
So, if you're going by straight damage, the Alucard shield's the best, because it does, you know, it's 255 damage every time you touch it, and you literally can just sit in someone's crawl space and do it. This one is really nice for clearing rooms because it kills everything on screen. Now these guys have more, you know, hit points, so that is why it takes a little more time. But like a normal enemy, no. Like I literally walk in a room, hit square, and they die. The chrysogram or whatever it's called, the sword, is still more fun because it's still an actual like weapon.
Yeah.
So you are still just like actually like moving around. But yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that. And so now let's go play Rondo of Blood. So yeah, that's kind of fun. I'm not sure if do I have to actually exit. Okay, good. So I can go back to just this screen. Cool. But yeah, so that was Castlevania Symphony of Night. We are now going to play the actual game so Symphony of Night was a direct sequel of Rondo of Blood. So I'm going to show you Rondo of Blood. I'm going to show you, and you're going to recognize it. If you've ever played a Castlevania, you'll be like, oh yeah, I get those mechanics now. Slow movement. You get knocked back when you get hit. It's hard to like. So part of that makes gameplay. Even the logo is like old school Konami logo. I didn't know what I was going to do because I was like, okay, I didn't know what I was going to do as far as like actually if I was going to try and get the platinum. But then I just love this game so much that like, yeah, I'll do the platinum. So that was fun over the weekend to do. I started on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. I started Rondo of Blood. I have a problem, and I'll admit that I have a problem, because then I didn't stop playing Rondo of Blood, so we'll just start on stage 1. So I'm going to be Richter. This is the screen where you can go in between. The 4 girls at the bottom are just other characters that I saved, but Maria is playable. I didn't go to bed until 3 in the morning, and I just played it straight. So 7 hours of just doing it.
Wow.
Just getting to town.
Wow.
Okay, so as you can see,
yeah, that's
normal Castlevania, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what system this is on. Yes, love it. Actually, I don't know this. Is there a triangle for the axe? I think so. So like, I can't if I jump and leave my feet. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's really hard to like get him to turn back. What's fun is if I get to the end of a level, I actually all the enemies die on the level and you get points for that. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, so it's like old school now, back to old school Castlevania, and it's fun and quirky, and there's no way that those are not that is not a callback to and that was a complete accident, but that was the coolest, slickest thing I've ever done in this game. It was like, yeah, the enemy is gonna pop out. That was totally an accident. All of you probably thought is like, oh yeah, he must have really played this game. Nope. Sometimes the buttons just come out.
Check out him move his hips.
I know, right?
Man, he's got
and so like, there's
juke on.
Ugh. I'm gonna die a lot because I forgot all the things that I learned from playing it for 7 hours.
You know what's a hard game? Karnov. You ever play Karnov?
Uh-uh.
Oh man, those old NES games. And Rygar. You ever played Rygar?
Uh-uh.
Oh man.
There's a lot of games you should show me that'd be fun, like bringing a SNES and stuff.
All right.
I could get a NES Classic and then probably mod it.
Yeah, the only one I have has the built-in games and doesn't let you put cartridges in or expand it.
Well, those are the ones you can mod.
Can you?
Yeah, so it's because it's just like it's just a computer. So I did that to the SNES Classic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but obviously that's yours. I'm not gonna if you want me to mod it, I can, and you can get all these games that you probably don't have on it. But if not, I understand that as well.
Yeah, one time I tried to buy one of those Raspberry things.
Oh yeah, Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
My father-in-law can help. Well, I can help you with that if you're.
Oh yeah, I took it. I sent it back because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I can help you with that if you ever want to do it. I emulate stuff all the time, and I love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do enough of that stuff to.
Axe makes this easy mode, and I still died. But yeah, so super cool, right? The old music, all the stuff. Ah, oh, so good, so good. Love it. And this game is like the original Castlevania. Oh my gosh, hard is so hard. They at least with this, this was a challenging game, but it was fun. Now I'm gonna show you the Dracula fight, and you'll see how I'm saying that it's like a direct sequel to Castlevania Symphony of the Night. But it's like that. It was so it's frustrating to play as Richter. So one of the trophies is you have to beat Dracula as Richter, but the other trophies you have to beat as Maria. Maria is basically easy mode. And you're going to see how Maria is easy mode. Richter, on the other hand, makes the game so hard. He is so hard to control. His whip, you would think that the trade-off would have been okay, you play as Richter and he's stronger so he takes more health. It's nope, not at all. So it's harder to play as Richter than it is Maria, and I'm going to show you that, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you how you get Maria, though, and where she's at, so that's kind of a fun little thing, because she's stuck in a prison cell in the castle.
Yeah, so, gosh, sorry. I think I'm pretty tired. What almost be cool is
you're close to getting lots of sleep. The worst enemy in any game are bats or ravens, because their stupid flight paths are so frustrating. In Super Castlevania for the SNES, they actually let you control the whip 1-to-1. So you can hold it and actually whip it around like a whip.
Oh wow.
And you can diagonal, up, down, left, right, you got the whole gamut. But this is just straight ahead. So they really did a good job with Super Castlevania 4.
That's cool.
Oh my goodness. Like this! Die, bird! Spawn of Satan?
But yeah, I think when I was a teenager, I think I got more into like computer video games.
Yeah, see, I never was that guy.
And
I was always console.
because
Even now I still would say
I
that.
think because some of the or a lot of the computer games that I got into were like cerebral stuff.
Oh yeah.
Myst, Seventh Guest, Riven, and one
I've never
called
played Myst, but I've
Clandestiny.
been told I need to play Myst. It's one of my video games.
I told you that I played it with my kids at Westridge, right?
Yeah.
So we could finally, so I could show them and beat it again. It's pretty interesting how much stuff I remembered as a kid. It's crazy. And then I was able to, because I think I kind of got a little too old for it, but I had ordered the sequel to that Riven, and I still have the discs of all of them. Oh, there's a game that I always wanted to play, but I could never get very far on it because I don't know if my computer could handle it back in the day. But it was King's Quest 4. And it'd be kind of cool to like play all the King's Quest.
Yeah, we could do
mean,
that. I've never played them, but I love to play new stuff.
We could go way
And
back.
I'm sure this can handle it, so.
We could go way back to the day of like Hunt the Wampus. Oregon Trail Night.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Oh, Oregon Trail.
But
So good. Oh,
non-cerebral meathead confirmed.
so good. Yeah, that is absolutely not true. I am definitely the guy who also does that. Those are the kind of games that I like to play too.
It'd be funny to like bring the viewers along, and they would be the people in our group for the Oregon Trail.
That would be funny. No, yeah, well, that was the thing is like I like
Prove it. Pivot to Mist.
Pivot to this. I like the games. I liked the games. So like this game is like challenging. So it's like it's hard. So like you have to figure it out. And but I always played like single player games that were story driven. So like Metal Gear is my favorite video game franchise.
Yeah.
And then like the Batman games, like to get all the Riddler trophies, like super hard.
Yeah.
And especially if you do it without cheats, which I did. I got every single thing on my own. Like no help the whole time. And so it's like yeah, that was the style that I liked to play as well.
You know, it was a hard game on NES.
Prove it.
Was Shadowgate.
TJ, you big butt.
Anyway,
because I'm not a Call of Duty guy. That's just not who I am.
The first game I ever played was
Unless with friends. Friends Call of Duty is fun.
Hunt the Wampus.
Hunt the Wampus.
That's super old Apple. I mean,
Huzzah!
it's amazing how old it is. I have no idea what it was called and how fun it would be to play on an actual real system, but our IBM PC Junior, which my dad used for business and stuff, we had it up in New York, and I was able to get this. It might have been on.
So now I'm gonna change characters. Go ahead.
Okay. It might have been on original floppy, like the big ones, and it was a Mega Man game, and it was the coolest Mega Man game ever. And
so this is Maria. She flows birds around. As you can see,
have some more birds.
I now have some more birds. Meow, meow, Richter, have some more birds.
It's almost that time for Skeletor memes.
As you can see, I am becoming much more. So, like, the cool thing about the birds, so though that's like her sub-weapon. But as you can see, when I throw them out, it comes down like this. So a lot of times, like, if I miss an enemy, but then they come behind me, it comes in a diagonal. So they actually end up getting hit anyways. And so it's like, the other thing that's really nice about her is she has a double jump. And so if I'm going this way, but then I want to go that way, I can change in midair the way I'm going. Whereas Richter's like, nope, you got to just stay. The other thing that's really good about Maria is she's really short. So guess what? There's some things that don't hit her. So as you guys notice, when I was doing this, if I was Richter and I just ducked, that would hit me. Doesn't hit Maria. So I just do this. And as long as I keep doing this, I'm good. Then I get a little closer. So Maria is definitely like easy mode. And it's even more apparent when you fight Dracula that Maria is easy mode because there's nothing that Dracula can do. It's just like, you stupid child. It's the best. But yeah, so like this is Rondo of Blood. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I guess. But the game is still like challenging, so it's like you can't. Like I definitely got a lot better with Maria, and like it's much easier.
Oh man, we can make our
so
own
fun.
Skeletor until next time meme generator.
So funny. The other thing that's still hard about this game is that the dumb, like, I got hit forward, right? I got hit forward from the enemy, and then then he was still moving, so then I got hit again. But so you're basically in for 2 hits. You're just stun locked. So there's nothing you can do about it. So still dumb coding decisions, Konami.
Yeah, Skeletor's only his head is a skeleton.
Oh yeah, I guess that is true, huh?
That's not a good one.
I guess we should have remembered
That doesn't
that.
even say anything.
What was that one?
No, I can't read that one.
Skeletor? Story Hour. Yeah.
That's a good one. It's not, I don't know. It's begin every cell phone conversation until with my phone is about to die. So you can hang up whenever you want. Until we meet again.
Until we meet again. Ah! But yeah, so this behemoth comes out, and he starts chasing you. Well, one of the candlesticks has a key. If you don't get the key, then you're not going to be able to do this next part, which is vital to actually being able to play as your second character. So I'm going to move forward. So you go into this next area. And again, fun scrolling, just like old school. Super fun. Super
This one
love
seems
it.
like more up your alley.
So now we're going to go downstairs. Add commas to your passwords to mess with the CSV file. They will be dumped into after being breached. Until next time!
It seems like super...
That's funny. So now I go to a door.
Should send that one to distance.
So now I go to this door with the key, and Maria is in this room. But obviously I am Maria, so it's just an egg. Here's the egg. Here's her egg one. Bah! Yeah, hers are funny because this is the same Maria. So like at the end of what we just beat, right? Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We just oh my gosh. No, get to the end. Okay, good. We just beat that was Maria, same Maria. And if you remember in the beginning when you're Richter, and like I said, the end of this game overlaps with the beginning of the last game, or Symphony of the Night. If you die in Symphony of the Night, because that's like not the purpose. Like they don't want you to die in the beginning scene, right? It's just storytelling elements. Maria comes and saves you, but it's this Maria. It's the baby Maria, the girl Maria. So she is also a vampire hunter, and she comes from the same lineage as Richter. So this is Wolfman, and I'm sure I'm gonna die because I only have 1 hit left. What's nice about this is you start from whatever room you ended on. So and each stage had a room where it gave you hearts and some kind of sub weapon. So this was, oops, dang it. So